I'm glad that you've arrived safely. I am Dracula, and I welcome you to my house. I must apologize for not being here to greet you personally, but I trust that you have found everything you needed. It was the least that I could do after such a journey, and tiring for you, no doubt. Permit me to show you to your room.
Hello and welcome to the show. This week we're going to be ranking the Hammer horror Dracula movies. There's a bit of a mouthful, or a bit of a fangful. Starring Christopher Lee. This is their second take because the dog was like running around the floor. We have wooden floors here, and just
it sounded like he was click-clacking on high heels.
Yeah, it sounded like fucking a cat breakdancing. Even though it was a dog, yeah. And people like, oh, they have cat breakdancing.
It just sounded like river dancing here. Yeah.
Yeah, but this week, Hammer horror movie Draculas.
Hammer horror Dracula movies.
So Christopher Lee's Dracula films.
Yes.
We're ranking those.
Yes.
That's a better way of saying it. Because I think they were all made by Hammer, but like Warner Brothers might have distributed some of them, or they had something to do with them. I don't know. But yeah, so look.
Peter Cushing was in some, he wasn't in others.
Yeah, we were just saying this in the last review, that some of the things they have, there's no continuity, really. It's very loosely tied together.
This is the whole thing. We're ranking them, but it doesn't. You don't have to watch these films in order, any sort of order.
No, they make no sense.
Because there's no continuity to them. Dracula gets killed in one way at the end of one film, and he wakes up in the next one, or he gets resurrected, kind of loosely following on from it, but it has no bearing on the plot whatsoever. No. It jumps around from decades to centuries and all the rest, so you don't need to be like, oh look, they've just resurrected him and it has some bearing on the previous one. No, it doesn't.
No, I think even before Reboot was a term used with movies, they tried to reboot the series several times.
That's, I think we were watching an interview with Christopher Lee, and I think he basically alluded to himself. He was like, one of the reasons he didn't want to play Dracula was he was like, it was all about the character and it was about staying faithful to the book. And he's like, they kept coming to him, and he's like, they basically had these stories and they were trying to shoehorn the character of Dracula into it.
It's pretty much like what they did with the Hellraiser franchise, that they seemed to want to hold on. But I think they just thought people would look at any shit.
But they were right. We've looked at them.
Yeah, they were. And
great.
Christopher Lee's whole thing with it was he wanted to do the first one and the second one. Then he said he didn't want to do any of them really after that. He only did them because they kind of emotionally blackmailed them into saying, well, look, 90 or 100 people are going to lose their jobs if you don't.
A whole studio, all the actors, the actresses, the crewmen, the writers, everyone basically that's dependent on this film.
He was just like, he thought that the films were rubbish. They had nothing to do with Dracula in any shape or form, which I suppose pretty much, they didn't.
It could have been any kind of horror monster, I suppose, just so happened to be like the vampire monster.
But we'll get into that as we're going through the individual ones. So I suppose we're going to start with the worst, number 7.
Yeah, ranking them from top of the pop style, starting at the end.
Yeah, so what we'll do is, just because it can get very confusing. Like, we got very confused when we were ranking them with like
a disclaimer for me as well. I can't differentiate in any film or anything like that, any kind of series or any kind of sequence of things. I don't know what. I can't differentiate. Like, you tell me Star Wars, I'm just like, it's all one big story to me. I can't differentiate out into the different episodes or anything like that for the most part. So this is just one big like Dracula story to me. It's like watching a series like Coronation Street, except Dracula's in it for me. So
Coronation Street, yeah. But so what we'll do is, look, we'll give the title of it. I'll talk through the plot.
Yes,
and then we'll
because you'll have to go. That's the one with the one with the big boobs, and I'll go. That's all of them.
So I suppose that's one of progressively.
The boobs got bigger and they got more
they're more
exposed.
flesh, because like in the original ones, it was like, I think it was like 1958 or whatever.
It was gently heaving bosoms, but they were very much covered.
Yeah,
it was a hint of heaving bosoms.
By the last ones that were set in the 70s
were
full on frontal nudes. Yeah, and a lot of, actually, I think there was less blood as they went on, and probably
less blood but more bums.
More nudity, which. Probably very tame by today's standards. It's not like it's a Serbian movie or anything like that.
No,
but,
thankfully.
Yeah, thankfully. Yeah, that'd be.
No one needs a Serbian movie.
Oh my God, what's Dracula doing to that baby? Yeah. Oh no. But yeah, look, getting started at number 7, the worst out of the lot, and by a long shot, is Dracula has risen from the grave. Right, so I just because
that's even a mouthful of a title.
Yeah,
as well.
it's the third one in the series. It was directed by Freddie Francis at 1968. Christopher Lee comes back in it. It kind of like, see, it's hard to kind of, I suppose, do it like this because you have to say, oh well, in the last one, the way that he died was he fucking fell into water. This is the whole thing with him as well. A lot of his deaths, they're like almost accidental, or it's just Dracula being a fucking klutz. Yeah, with it. So basically, the plot with this one, it starts off after Dracula's being killed again. These two priests. It's always in this. It's Carlsberg, I think, is the name of the village that it's always shot in. Or Carlsberg. It changes.
Draculas.
Yeah,
give me the best Draculas in the world.
So basically, these two priests go up to perform an exorcism on Castle Dracula because they're sick of people going on. I can't. They won't go into the church, and they're like, well, I mean, because the shadow of the castle falls on the church.
But didn't a load of people get killed in the church?
No, that was in a different one.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
This is just, they're like, it's after Prince of Darkness, and they're like, even the big priest comes down, he's like, he's fucking dead, you fools.
The big priest?
Yeah, and they're like, he mightn't be.
Is he big, or is he just close
He's
up?
big, he's fat.
So
he's from like the big city. He's the big city priest. So they go up and perform the exorcism. The priest from the small village, he gets, just before the castle, he's like, I'm bollocks, I can't go up. So the other fella's like, alright, you stay here. So when your man is staying there, he slips down the side of a mountain, cracks his fucking skull open.
On the ice.
Yeah, on the ice. He managed to crack the ice open, which Dracula is frozen under.
Yeah, very conveniently frozen under. And the trickle of his blood very conveniently just trickles into Dracula's
trickles down
mouth.
into Dracula's mouth. And Dracula...
And revives him.
Yeah,
basically.
he comes back and he's like, alright, you do what I tell you now. And the priest is like, okay.
Okay, master.
So they decide that they're going to get revenge on the other priest who did the exorcism on Dracula's castle because he put a big cross on the door, and like Dracula couldn't possibly get rid of that. Like, you couldn't get your man to lift it down.
Yeah, would you not just lift it off? And like, you're a priest, you can touch crosses.
So he goes off to kill your man's daughter, and
he's like, anyone that's related to him, basically, he's just like, I'll just be me.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, Paul.
Isn't the priest's daughter? It's his sister's daughter.
It's his
because
niece.
A priest shouldn't have it.
It's his niece, and she's going with this fellow who's
an atheist.
A baker.
And an atheist.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he says that when he goes around to dinner, your man goes, oh, what do you believe in? And he's like, I'm an atheist. So he's like, get out of my fucking house.
How dare you come into my house and scoff at my beliefs? Your man is like, well, fucking, they are stupid,
so,
you know.
Basically, a lot of this occurs on rooftops because your woman is sneaking out of her bedroom and it's like The Crow.
Yeah.
But really bad.
Yeah.
And
I actually you keep on saying this is the worst, and I actually quite enjoyed this one. I thought it was fun and stupid.
Yeah, which one would you think is worse than this then?
The 70s ones.
Would you? You didn't like the 70s
like
ones?
Them
a lot of people didn't actually. They got like the worst scores, I think, on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah,
but you should have voted for it.
You did say that, and you were just like, no, shut up, bitch.
Because I can remember you saying this was awful. Like, the two of us really struggled with this one. It dragged an awful lot.
Yes, but you see, we saw this before the 70s ones. I didn't think it could get that much worse.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. It's just, we were like, if it was an hour and a half, but it felt like about 3 hours, and they were painful. This one was painful to watch. Not to say that it's a terrible film. We've looked at way worse movies in our times. But basically it's the whole thing that like Dracula's after catching your woman and he has her under the influence, and your man, the baker, decides that he's going to go after Dracula to get him. It's all over the fucking place. So they go up to Dracula brings your woman up to his castle to get rid of the cross.
Yeah, suddenly he can get into his castle now. Yeah.
And she throws it off the cliff and it falls on, and then Dracula gets into a scrap with her boyfriend and the priest that was helping him. Oh yeah, this is the one where fucking it's all load of it happens in the sewers, which happened to be linked to the pub that your man Paul is working in.
That's what I was saying. It was like there was a pub.
Yeah.
There was like basically there was an inn and a pub over it. There was a bakery in the cellar of the pub. There were sewers underneath the pub, underneath the bakery. It was like, who fucking connects?
It was like a hive
shit up?
city in fucking Warhammer or Necromunda.
It was so bizarre.
Yeah.
And then as well, nobody ever seemed to use the streets because they used to go up to the top of the pub, upstairs, and like you said, they used
Out
to
the
just
window,
like out the window to like climb over
On
rooftops
the
and
roofs,
get into your one's bedroom.
But
and it's like, just use the fucking streets, like. Oh my
but
God,
it was
you're gonna
Dracula
break
was
your
hanging
neck.
out in the sewers, luring people down there, and there was this one that was like the busty barmaid, and she was like trying to sexually assault your man Paul when he was getting drunk.
Sexual predator, wasn't she?
Yeah.
She just kept on trying it on with him.
And Dracula lured her down into the sewers, and then she was helping Dracula lure the other people down. But anyway,
There's a lot of luring going on, wasn't there?
Yeah. The end of it is Dracula fucking slips and he falls on the cross, and
which has become embedded into the ground, so he lands square on the fucking cross,
and he dies. So he dies by misadventure again.
Dead by misadventure.
And it's like, I know you're saying, oh, I didn't think it was it was the worst. It is the worst one.
No, the 70s ones were stupid.
We'll get to the 70s ones, but you didn't fight for this hard enough.
I told you they were stupid, and you just went, no.
Yeah, they're not. They're not. We'll deal with the 70s ones in a minute. You're trying to derail things, and it's not going to work. Fucking Christy, no.
What?
I just heard her name popped into my head. She's a politician over in America that I think they're trying to impeach at the moment.
Oh, okay. Look at you being
she's the one that came up with ICE.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that one. So
what? How might I like her?
I don't know.
Fight hard enough for the 70s. Dracula to be shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's exactly like something she'd do.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, this one, it's...
Well, you know, it probably is because, like, 70s Dracula is the first black person that is in Dracula is in the 70s.
I think it... Yeah, there is, yeah, I think. I can't think of anyone because, yeah.
Anyway, we'll get to that
but
in
yeah,
the 70s
look,
one.
this one, there's not much because it is all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
It's like a really crap Romeo and Juliet. Dracula's hardly in it. His only motivation seems to be someone put a cross on my
door, get it the fuck off.
There's no cohesive plot in it. It's just about, like, I give it 2 out of 5 on Letterboxd because I was trying to rank them, well, not rank them, but like just score them when we're going through so I'd have an idea. And this, for me, this one, now you can say that, oh, this was better, but like, I mean, say marginally, that we'll get to it now. At number 6 is it would have been Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus
no,
Christ.
Nothing got to do with it.
It's Dracula AD 1972. So this was, they wanted to reboot the series and they just kind of went, right, we're not going to follow it anymore. It was, they gave like a bit of a backstory at the start, but it was like Van Helsing fighting Dracula in England. And once again, he dies by misadventure. He crashes his fucking a horse and cart into a tree. The wheel breaks off and buries into his heart.
Literally, it's like it's a fucking wooden cartwheel, and somehow he doesn't just land on the wheel, he managed to land on the wheel, and the spoke fucking breaks
goes
off
through
and
him,
goes through his actual heart.
Van Helsing pushes it through his heart, and then when he does, Van Helsing dies as well. So then it cuts to
I love that, actually. That was such a stupid scene. Sorry for cutting across you, but it was just like Van Helsing was like, haha, good, I killed Dracula. Then he was just like,
Yeah, and as Van Helsing, and an important point actually, then Dracula turns to dust as he normally does. And this guy just randomly
That's
appears.
one thing I have to say though, special effects for the time are actually fairly cool.
Yeah, let me get to the fucking point.
Alright.
That's an important point.
Go on then.
The whole film ties on this.
Go on then.
So as he turns to dust, a fella shows up and scrapes up his ashes into
a vial that he just
happens to have
carry in his coat,
and takes his ring. and he pours half the ashes down a grave near Van Helsing's grave when he's getting buried, and puts a stake in it to keep him there. Right. So then it cuts to the 70s, and it's like a group of young kids they're after breaking into rich people's house
some hoity-toity
party,
snobs party, and they're like, I'm going to dance barefoot on your piano.
We're hippies.
We're playing the electric guitar.
And for 10 minutes,
it's just them.
Songs play and they dance. And one of the kids, who looks a lot like the fella who fucking robbed the ashes, is like, the cops won't be here for 8 minutes. And 8 fucking minutes
solid of them just doing a stupid hippie dance or whatever.
So then,
and they keep counting down. It's only 7 minutes now. We hit minute 6.
So one of the main girls in it, who's Stephanie Beecham, who I think she was in like Dallas or Dynasty, one of those. She's the granddaughter of Van Helsing nowadays. So it's Johnny Alucard is the guy, and it's never clear if that's actually the guy is still alive from back 100 years ago, or if it's like he's descendant. But either way, he convinces all the hippies to have a black mask, because he's like, it'll be far out, man. It'll be
trippy,
groovy.
Awesome.
So he does this blood ritual thing, which goes on for about 10 minutes again, and like blood pours down the one, and then Dracula fucking appears from a hole in the ground, smoke, and comes in, and he's like, alright, we're going to get revenge on those Van Helsings. So then the rest of the film is Dracula killing off your woman's friends
just because,
and that's it. And Van Helsing kind of realising, this Dracula bastard has backed my family.
Is that the one where he eventually manages to do? He goes, Alucard.
Yeah.
Alucard.
And he writes it down on an envelope, and my God, fucking Peter Cushing's handwriting is atrocious.
It's the handwriting of a 3-year-old child.
Yeah. It's like really, really, but where you're like, Jesus Christ. And even when he's talking, the cops are involved in it, and they were trying to set this up as a new franchise with it. There was 2 films planned. I'd say they thought, the 2 films will do great and we'll fucking have a bunch of them. And no. They seem to be like really badly received. But yeah, so
by everyone and by us as well.
So like you would say this is like the worst, but like I mean it's a toss up between this and the third one being the worst one. It's just not good. I think it's entertaining just for its sheer weirdness.
The fucking music. Oh God, my God.
Yeah. And they seem to make I was reading stuff about the production of it, and they tried to make a big deal out of the music, that there was some band I think called White Noise that were big at the time. It was by a former Manfred Mann member, and they're just, I don't know, they're not bad, but it's not like you're going to run off and buy the fucking soundtrack.
Well, it's like if you actually told someone nowadays, right, I want you to write something that is as cheesy, stereotypical 70s as you can possibly muster, and you're going to have it as like a spoof of the 70s, and that's basically the sound.
Yeah, that's actually a very good, of the whole film.
Yes.
Where it's even like the way that the kids in it talk, and by kids we mean like 40-year-olds,
35-year-olds. They're all, man, it's groovy.
And they're like, it's, I'm not down for this, pops. I'm like, you're freaking my vibe out. Yeah, chillax. 7-6. But it's entertaining, but it is one of the weaker.
Yes,
ones.
I wouldn't even go so far as to say it's entertaining.
Yeah, I think it's worth a watch though, because, like I was saying, because of the weirdness of it. Now they could have done so much with it. They could have done a whole thing of fucking like, you know, I can't, but like, you know, out of time, like Dracula out of time.
Well, that was the one bit that I actually found
and kind of going around going, oh my God, they're eating burgers. What's a burger? And
that's the one bit I did find a bit entertaining, that they went from sort of like the horse and carriage time, and then they transitioned to like, you know, sort of it was almost like a Streets of San Francisco opening, where it's like, it's a London skyline or whatever it was. Is like, here's cranes and here's like busy city people and here's yuppies looking at their watches with their briefcases.
When they do it over in America, and particularly in the 70s, they always kind of shot like, say, San Francisco or New York, even if they're meant to be like, you know, horrible places where like horrible crimes are happening.
Like cool and
cool, and you kind of go, wow, they're like, you know, a modern wonder, kind of like these big cities. This, it zooms out and it's like, wow, London looks like a shithole. And it's all like these back alleys that they focus on and fucking
scrubby wastelands and stuff.
And you just kind of go, Jesus Christ, like, you know, this is not a gritty kind of. It's just shitty
it's
London,
just
like, But that's that one, and we'll get to. There's a sequel to that which we'll get to later on as well.
Which I thought was equally pants.
Yeah, but how did he get killed at the end of this?
I actually tuned out by the end of it. I was that bored.
How the fuck did he get killed?
I think I might have fallen asleep. I was that bored.
Like, oh, Jesus, see, this is a terrible thing
but
with
that's
these
the thing,
things.
All of the deaths are like so fucking stupid. Like you said, it's all like he tripped over his own shoelaces.
Yeah. That's all I remember. It's like, it gets to the point where like Van Helsing is like, I'm going to get this bastard. He kidnaps Van Helsing's granddaughter. So it kind of turns into like Predator at the end of it, where Van Helsing is after setting up all these traps. Like he even has like
so
the pit with stakes.
Covered in. Oh, I remember. That's right.
Yeah, and he thinks he's been really smart about it all,
but
and he's like,
isn't.
"I'm going to get you." So they have a fight in the church where they perform the Black Mass at the start of it, and fucking Van Helsing's granddaughter is there kind of catatonic going, "Oh, I will help Dracula." But Dracula, after all these things, he ends up fucking losing his footing and falling into a pit of stakes.
So, there you go. I was just basically tripping over his own shoelaces.
And then he turns back to fucking ashes again, and they're just, it just finishes. This is the thing as well with all of them. There's no kind of...
There's no follow-up. There's no, like, this is the ending
conclusion
of the
or
film.
prologue.
It's just like,
it's just, that's fucking it.
And then it's like, Finn.
We couldn't be bothered doing an ending. Look, he's dead. Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
You're done.
Credits.
Yeah, you're done. Go home.
And it's not even credits, because the credits come up at the start of the Dracula films. Because they're that old.
But yeah, that was that one which was meant to be a reboot for Dracula, because I think at this stage people were like, it was probably nearly 20 years of Dracula Hammer horror movies at this stage, and people were probably a bit, I'm fucking sick.
I'm done.
Now I think poor Christopher Lee as well is probably getting a bit worn down by all the bad reviews, because people were kind of nearly blaming him for the films being shit, because he was like the front man of the whole thing, really.
And he was like, I can't do anything about this. I don't even have lines in this. I just show up and I have to wear these horrible bloodshot contact lenses.
That's it. Yeah, so it really does devolve to like Christopher Lee not really saying much in all the films and just looking at or pointing and his eyes going red and just gathering women. It seems to be.
He just seems to have basements full of women.
Yeah, it's like he's fucking collecting Pokemon with women. That's all. And like, I mean, a lot of time he won't bite a man; he'll just kill a man.
Yeah, he's just like, I don't like the taste of it.
Yeah. Now, before we move on to another, one thing that I did quite like about this was the gang. Even though they were like Christ knows what dimension they were meant to be from in the 60s. But when they started turning into vampires, when your man Johnny Alucard turns into a vampire, I thought that was interesting that they started portraying the vampires as having some kind of sentience themselves, because beforehand they just kind of put them as like vampires prisoners or vampire Dracula's prisoners, and Dracula kind of just smacking women around really getting told, oh, you're stuck here,
shut up.
And then they do it and he kills them. Like literally they fucking
they ask a question, he's like, shut up bitch, bang.
One of the other things as well, one of the common things throughout all the movies, and I'm fairly sure it happens in this, is like doors being kicked open and glass being broken, or people jumping through windows.
Yeah, that are clearly made out of plywood and sugar glass.
Yeah. And it's like Dracula, Christopher Lee does it I think it's in the first one it happens where he kicks a door.
Yeah,
he did not. That door was a solid door. They did not.
He was meant to push it over. He had a woman, I think, in his arms,
Yeah.
and he was going to just push the door open with his foot and walk through. But I think he pushed way too hard.
Yeah.
It was like a fucking cartoon.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Like, poof, and the whole thing just disintegrates.
And that ends up being a kind of a thing. I'd say it's probably him being annoyed near the end of films as well. Shooting because there's a lot of fucking broken things.
But that was very, I don't know, it just reminded me of like Denholm in fucking the IT crowd.
Or in Father's Head with Mrs. Doyle. But coming in at number 5, we have from 1970, Taste the Blood of Dracula. Directed by Peter Sassady from a script by Anthony Hines. So this is number 5. No, this is number 4. I don't know, I'm getting fucking confused now. But this is following up from the what we had at number 7. This is going to be like fucking, it's like stroke territory. But yeah, this is following on from the first one that we're talking about, where Dracula at the end of it falls on the cross. So there's this like English salesman is going along and he gets kicked out of the back of a fucking
horse-drawn
carriage, yeah. And he comes across Dracula dying on the cross. So he sees him turn into red dust. So he gathers up all his blood dust.
As you do.
And his necklace and ring and cloak. Because like for some reason Dracula's clothes disappear, but
that's
the cloak
what we're saying.
doesn't.
It's like fucking his cloak stays there, but like what about his underpants and his
yeah,
socks and
his
stuff?
Dracula underpants.
I don't know, where does that go?
Maybe he fucking doesn't wear, but still he's wearing
He's gone
trousers. And
commando.
I imagine he's wearing shoes, definitely.
That's what I mean. Like, surely he's like, we can see him wearing like fucking a short and stuff.
Yeah,
Where does
I
the
would
shirt
imagine
go?
the shoes would be harder to dissolve because they'd be leather.
Yeah, that's true as well. Where do they go? Like, they should surely have like shoes and a cloak.
They don't. I'm starting to think that they don't really think about like how these things could affect real life. But anyway, it's your man gathers that up and he goes back to England. Then you go to these 3 old men that they're part of this club where they like to do.
Yeah, they're all these like
strange
upstanding
things.
members of the community where they're like fucking councilmen and stuff, and they're real harsh in their families. It's like their poor daughter, she like has a male friend that she likes, and he's like, yeah, absolute fucking harlot, how dare you wear a dress in public. And it's like, but Papa, what am I supposed to do? He's like, fucking shut up, you whore, and get up to your bedroom. And then he's out and he's like, fucking
he's awful.
being rode like a pony by a
that's it. Yeah, like
it's
the first thing that they do as part of their organisation, because they pretend that they're part of a charitable thing.
So they go off every Sunday
soup
night
kitchen
and
or
going
a
off fucking
poorhouse,
doing horrible things around the place.
Yeah, but they end up partaking in this black mass because they buy the Dracula's fucking red ashes off the salesman, because this like Lord Courtly guy kind of convinced them to do it, saying, oh, this will be great, man. And they're like, oh yeah.
It's like, oh, you've reached the limits of like your human sort of experiences. Why not do this? Let's do a black mask.
So they agree to it and they freak out when they're doing it and they kick him to death for some reason.
Oh, so they're meant to drink the blood, isn't it?
And they're like, I'm not drinking that shit.
You drink it first, and he starts like fucking seasoning.
Choke,
he's like, oh no, help me. So they're like, instead of helping him, what do they do?
They kick him to death, yeah. So then Dracula appears and Dracula said, I will get, it's real corny fucking terrible shit. He's like, I will get vengeance on those who killed my servant. Now originally apparently Christopher Lee was like completely and utterly, I am not starring in this shit. But they were after selling it to Warner Brothers and they somehow convinced Christopher Lee to come into, because Warner Brothers were like, originally it was like this Courtly fella was going to come back as a vampire and he was going to be the one going around getting revenge for being kicked to death by these old men. So Christopher Lee came on then in the end. So your man dies and Christopher Lee shows up and he goes around trying to kill, well, he actually,
all their families and
he
stuff,
kills it and their families, and sure, of course there's your woman's daughter and she's seen another fella called Paul. Like, I think they're just like,
I think they just ran out of names.
Yeah,
it's just like, I like the name.
Yeah, I fucking Paul, that's it.
Billy Jim Joe.
Yeah, so I thought I've always liked this one because this one, when I was younger, it used to be on a lot at Christmas for some reason, and it's just, it's a slow thing. So it's just like Dracula kills one of your men, and then it's like he's like the first, then the second, and the third, and then of course he comes across the daughter and he's like, oh, woman,
nice, I'll drink her.
Yeah.
He's like,
I'll
kill
her,
the men, but I'll suck
But
her.
it doesn't. This is the one I think where after, he gets her to kill the father with a shovel in the head.
Yeah, that was pretty violent.
And then
actually.
she goes missing, and the police are like, "Oh, she probably just ran away." That's what women do.
They had a little disagreement with their father, and they run away.
Yeah, and there's nothing about like a murder inquiry or anything like that into this guy's death. So then she's like luring the other people's children away.
Come out
stuff.
and play with me in the middle of the night in the frosty wet garden in your bare feet and your nightdress.
Yeah,
and everyone's just like, yeah, cool then.
So that's kind of like how they get those into it. And then this is like definitely the weakest death of Dracula in completely, because all that happens is he's in the church that he was in like the whole time, and someone starts saying a prayer and he goes, oh, and he sees the place as like
an actual Christian church,
yeah,
isn't it?
and he goes, oh, and he just falls fucking off a ledge and falls on the altar and drops dead.
Yeah, he's like, he melts on the altar.
Yeah, and then he turns
like,
ashes.
lame.
And it just stops there. And it's just like, alright, that's...
It's like, the power of Christ compels you.
Yeah, but yeah, this up until that point.
It was actually alright.
Yeah, but you could kind of tell, right, this was not meant to be a Dracula movie. This is just... This could have been like a Tales from the Crypt episode, or, some kind of anthology story where there's not enough meat to it to have it for an hour and a half thing, where like a half an hour, it would have been a great little kind of thing. And it's like, this story has been done loads of times anyway, normally with ghosts, but for some reason they put Dracula into it. It's because I'm fairly sure there's either a book or a short story where it's like a similar group of people, kind of like the what are they called up in Dublin, the Hellfire Club, and
indulging their fantasies,
but there was a short story or an episode of something where it was like these guys that they decide that they're going to eat a ghost. But it was like that weird kind of ghost story. I was just about to say, how would you do that? And it's just like, the answer came into my mind, is like, well, one bite at a time, but they were part of some society where they eat like strange, so they're like, oh, we're after eating a zebra, and then why don't we eat a ghost? I was like, oh, alright. So that kind of reminded me, or this reminded me of that a lot with it. Now, none of the characters in it are likeable at all as well. A lot of the things you feel sorry for the
victims, I suppose.
Yeah, in this they're all kind of pieces of shit. They
brought it on themselves. Well, apart from the poor daughter.
Yeah, apart from the daughter, because she's just getting fucking slapped around the place the whole time. And then when the friend becomes a vampire as well, like Dracula just beats the head off her. Yeah. She's like, oh, love me, and he's like, oh, fuck off. And then he kills her.
Yeah. There's an awful lot of women getting slapped in this, like,
it's great.
Fucking back of the hand slapped as well, you know.
Yeah, Sean Connery probably would love being in this.
I'm sure.
Just a slap in the back of the hand. There's it's of its time. But that's Dracula. But I suppose they want to get Dracula's an asshole.
Yeah.
He's
but
like,
it's not just Dracula doing it, it's like fucking
everyone.
It's daughters with their dads, and fucking everyone is shut up girl, get up to your room, whack. And that's it. Like, it just seems to be this they need to beat manners into a stray dog kind of thing. You do it to your daughter as well. It's that kind of attitude. Yeah,
but if it's a stray dog, how could it be your stray dog? So how could it be your stray daughter?
What? Anyway.
But yeah, that's Taste the Blood of Dracula, which it's alright. And so then at number 4,
surely we're up higher than that now at this stage.
No, we're not. No.
Jesus Christ, hurry up.
I know, but this is the thing about the films, they drag. But it's Scars of Dracula. This is at 1971, which like 2 of them came out in 1970. And this one I thought was actually, I don't know why I put this one up.
No, I don't.
Sorry, this one is fairly awful.
Yeah, I question your judgment entirely.
Yeah, this one, it's... As
I do every day.
As you should.
Yeah.
This one, it's just it starts off with like there's a young woman's after being murdered, and the villagers, they're like, oh, we're sick of this fucking shit, let's go and sort Dracula out. So they go up and they set fire to the castle.
And in the meantime, they've all the women folk and the children are locked in the church back home for safekeeping. Isn't that the one?
Yeah, so what happens is, at the start of it, a vampire bat vomits blood onto Dracula's ashes.
Onto his dust.
And brings him back. So,
and it's the best vampire bat special effects I've ever seen. It's literally like one of the ones you see.
You can
for
tell
Halloween.
He's on the end of a
It's
brush.
on an elastic string that you bop up and down, and you can just see him going squeeze, 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 squeeze. Flap, 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 flap.
So anyway, then what happens is that when his thing is on fire, they go back down. They're all happy with themselves. The villagers. They went to the church.
We showed him. We burnt his castle
all
down.
the women and children are after being murdered by
shredded to shit
by these bats.
Yeah.
And you kind of go, hell.
Yeah, they're all like plastic Halloween bats. How have they done it?
So the villagers are like, oh, fuck this shit. So then it goes to the next town over, and there's another fella called fucking Paul. They just love Paul. Yeah. And he's like sleeping with this one. She turns out to be like the daughter of the burgomaster. I can't remember. He's someone important. I don't know who the fuck. And
who's more important than master of burgers?
Yeah, but he decides that he's going to go off to a party, and your woman goes, "Oh,
stay with me," or I
this is the start of the nudie thing. She comes out like fucking full frontal naked.
Well, no, it's full arse naked.
Oh, full arse naked.
Yeah.
But her father comes home and sees her, and he's like, "Oh my god!" And she's like, "He tried to rape me."
Yeah.
So
instead of like, it sets off this whole chain of events where he starts getting chased for raping her instead of like consensual sex, which is like horrendous.
So he goes off to his brother's girlfriend's birthday party. He has a picture of her for her as a gift. Mm-hmm. The police come in and he goes, "Oh, I gotta get it." So he jumps out a fucking window.
Yeah, there's a lot of jumping out windows in this.
And he crashes through
the roof of a carriage and takes off.
Yeah, and takes off and ends up in this small village where Dracula is. Yeah, so he asks, like, at the inn, can he stay? And they're like, "No, we don't allow strangers in."
It's like Jesus.
Yeah.
He's like Mary and Joseph. Sorry, not Jesus.
But there's some young one working there who's like, "Oh, well, I'm not really from around here."
They won't tell me why we're not meant to leave people in. But yeah, she opens the door to him and
lets them in.
Straight away they're like mugging the head off each other.
But he goes to Castle Dracula then. And Castle Dracula, they've like a bed laid out for everything. They're like, "Oh, we always accept guests." And he's like, "What?"
Yeah.
And Clove, who was like, this is like, what fucking, this is like the fifth one. Or the fourth one. Clove was in the second one and gets killed.
But
and now
somehow
he's back.
He's still a servant up there in this one.
Yeah. Well, actually, this one is actually quite good.
Yeah. This is the one I enjoyed. The one with the busty barman.
Yeah.
Barmaid.
So, basically, the brother gets killed up there because, like, it takes him a day to realise that maybe Dracula is not great. Because a woman, if one of Dracula's vampires gone, and she's like, "Oh, save me," kind of like from Dracula, and he sleeps with her. Yeah. Dracula comes in and catches him in bed, so he fucking stabs her in the head and the heart, and then he's like, "Clove, clean this mess up," and Clove like cuts her up into small bits and puts her into an acid bath.
Yeah, as you do.
Yeah, and it's all just very whatever.
Taking out the rubbish.
Yeah. So then, it's his brother, which is Dennis Waterman from Minder.
Yes.
And the girlfriend decide that they're going.
There's very few people are probably known what it's probably gorgeous. A lot of people are probably thinking we're having seizures here.
Him and the girlfriend go off to fucking Castleberg fucking village or whatever it is, Carlsberg, and they get to the castle. They stay there as well because they're like, "Oh, this is why wouldn't he have things open?" And Clove has a picture of your woman.
They let the woman stay in the lovely big bed, and they knock her unconscious more or less and carry her out, and like her boyfriend is just like, "You can sleep here on the sofa."
There was like Dracula's in the
mind that her is unconscious. We're carrying her out. She'll sleep fine.
Dracula's in the middle of talking to your man. Your man goes, "Why did they set fire to the?" And he just looks at your woman and knocks her out and carries her off. And your man is just standing there going, "Oh, okay." And he's like, "Do you want a drink?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, sure, why not?"
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I'll just take my girlfriend away unconscious. That's great. I'll sleep here on the sofa.
It's truly awful. But yeah, much hilarity ensues, and then like poor old Clove,
he keeps a photo under his pillow
of your woman because and he's like in love with her.
Very own little Playboy magazine.
Yeah, he helps him escape, and then they come back because why not?
As they do.
So yeah, your man gets into a fight with Dracula, and it's going on out in the thing, and he picks up like a metal bar out of the wall for some reason. It's fucking metal. Like, I don't think they would have been using steel bars to construct castles.
A bit of rebar, like, you know, Jesus, how bad.
Yeah. But he picks it up and he throws it at Dracula. Dracula picks it up and throw back, and then gets hit by lightning and gets set on fire. Yeah, the fire bit is kind of cool because it's like a controlled stunt, slow burn, with a guy that's quite obviously, it's like a big mask on, but like someone just painted the top with black to be like hair. And he's like,
I'm Christopher
and he's
Lee.
scarily close to the other two people. I'd imagine he probably can't see him. They're backed in the corner up against the fucking,
please don't set me
the
on
castle
fire.
wall, and they're probably like, don't keep walking, fucking please. And then that's it. He just burns to death on it. But
and probably does as well, the stunt.
Yeah. And we say, I quite enjoyed this one.
Yes.
I think Clove is very good
well,
in it. Yeah. It adds an extra element to it where he's just like, oh, I don't like being here. Because Dracula's just beating him.
Yeah, he's like a very reluctant servant. Yeah.
And as well, the way Dracula, because Christopher Lee, I think he talks a lot in this one compared to some of the other ones.
He's a very chatty fella.
Yeah, and Dracula comes across as charming. And you kind of go, all right, you can see how people would fall for his charm. And so you get disarmed when he's like, he just bursts in and kills your woman in the bed. Where, you know, there is that.
Well, for something that always just amuses me is like, I always like Christopher Lee's teeth when he starts like going, I've got vampire teeth. And it's like, I also have English teeth.
The bottom row are all fucking crooked.
Yeah, same as our own. Like.
And then the top. It's
typical NHS teeth, like.
Yeah.
There you go.
But yeah, this one is quite good out of the whole lot of them. I think it's fairly funny. The villagers are just portrayed as cowards.
Which they all are.
Yeah, they try to help. No, they don't help him in the end. It's the priest helps him. And even he doesn't help him in the end because he gets halfway up and he's like, I'm very tired. Can you go the rest of the way?
He's very old, in fairness, and it is. Yeah. That's the thing as well. We were saying, fucking Dracula used to maintain great infrastructure up to the castle. Then all of a sudden they're climbing up the side of the fucking.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, there was always like fucking horses going up there, horse and carriages with no drivers around bending.
And they were going up lovely paved roads, and then all of a sudden it's like they were scaling like the fucking side of a cliff.
Yeah, I suppose he probably like. He had the capital, but he didn't have the money to maintain the capital.
After getting burnt out, you're probably like, well, fuck them. They're not getting an easy road up to my castle.
And it's really fun because he's living in a small part of the castle.
Yeah.
So they quite obviously they were like, we don't have the same budget as we used to have. We can't have this big castle. Because it was like always a painting of the castle as well.
Yeah.
And it was not a great painting. Not a bad painting.
No, it was clearly a painting. Like,
yeah, but it was clearly a painting where you could see like the white heavy highlights on the side,
paint lines and all this. Well, I suppose like anyone who has a big stately house, he's probably like, geez, the heating bill for this, lads.
That's what like. Remember that there was
just move into 2 rooms for the winter.
The filthy Fulfords, was it, or something? I was on.
The fucking Fulfords.
The fucking they became a big thing on
a reality
in England
show,
for a while. Yeah.
But it is like any big house. It's like, I don't have the budget to keep this clean and heated and all the rest of it. We'll just close it down to 2 or 3 rooms.
And he was every day he was trying to keep the place like ready for guests, and the hope that a guest would show up that he could eat. And he always
had like wine and food on hand, and he doesn't eat.
Yeah.
Except for people.
That's it, yeah. So, like, I mean, you have to keep fresh food.
How do you do that?
And he wouldn't allow... And Clove was sleeping in a shithole. All the lovely bedrooms. And he was like, I used to sleep in... Yeah. And he was like... When he caught him with the picture, he was like, you dirty bastard.
Well, he was sleeping with it. Basically, it was like a dirty mag under the bed.
Yeah, but the poor fella has to have some pleasures. But, yeah, so that's number 4. So then number 3, this will probably be a bit divisive with Laura.
Divisive just with me against myself.
Yeah, it's the Satanic Rites of Dracula. It's the last out of all the movies that Christopher Lee. It's the last one that Christopher Lee appeared in. Made in 1973, directed by Alan Gibson. This follows on with the 70s thing. This one starts. I think this one is really good. It's a mixture of a lot of movies in it, and it's got like tropes, it seems to be hated by people. I don't really get it. Like, it's not really a Dracula movie.
It's a kind of a 70s satanic panic kind of film.
Yeah. It starts off with like as an agent that escaping from a satanic house where they're doing satanic rituals and stuff. And it's kind of like there's a fair bit of action. There's like guys on motorbikes getting shot off the motorbikes.
The same two motorbikes.
Yeah, it's the same two motorbikes the whole way through the film. Like, you know,
and they're making use out of those rentals.
And they're not very good motorbikes. But yeah, so this is going. So the agent gets debriefed and he dies on the table. He says, "Oh, they're doing terrible things in there." There's like, "Oh, there's something going on." So they figure out that the people that are involved are all these like people that are high up in English society and connected through the Ministry of Defence and the army.
Might as well
and stuff.
Be fucking spitting facts there.
Yeah,
in fairness,
and one of them
that's
is
going on nowadays too.
He's like this scientist that's like. Specializes in biological warfare, so it's like I wonder what's going on. So they end up getting fucking Van Helsing involved in it because they're like, look, there's this weird cult things going on, maybe you know something about it. And he kind of twigs, oh look, it sounds like vampires are arsing around doing something, because every 100 years or 200 years something really bad happens. So the fucking scientist turns out to be Van Helsing's friend. Van Helsing calls around him and discovers that he's basically after making a new bubonic plague.
Nice.
That's like super virulent and can kill everyone. So it's like this plot that Dracula has, that he's like after getting these guys to help him do this because he just wants to kill everyone in the world so he can be...
Is that what happened in 2020?
It could have been. Dracula could have been around, and he was like, oh, COVID.
Yeah. Wuhan.
Yeah. But yeah, so then it's... well, where does it go from there? Yeah, there it's like nearly an espionage thing. And one of the funnier scenes I think is where like Dracula is this guy called Denham in it, who's got like a big huge building, and Van Helsing goes around him and Denham is hiding behind, like, it's quite obviously Christopher Lee, but he puts on a Borat accent and he's like, oh no, we're not going to kill anyone, we're not doing any of that. And fucking Van Helsing tricks him into touching a Bible. He goes, I knew it was you, Dracula, you bastard. Yeah.
Yeah. Ow, that hurt.
Yeah. So then they go to that and they're going to kill like fucking Van Helsing's niece again, or fucking granddaughter again.
Yeah, they just seem to love killing like granddaughters and nieces.
In a satanic ritual. Yeah. And like a load of action happens here where like the whole place gets set on fire, Dracula's fighting, there's fucking acid being thrown, people are on fire, the bubonic plague breaks out. And
more bike stunts with the same two bikes. Yeah,
more bike stunts, and it's actually just really cool. It's very 70s movie.
Yeah.
It's a very 70s Warner Brothers movie. There's kind of bits that reminds me of like a Bruce Lee movie mixed with like there's the political intrigue and there's
and they have a lot of like say the kind of the Shaft music kind of thing, you know, that
there's like I don't say a spy involved with it. There's two spies that are helping out, like this detective that was in the other 1970s movie. Joanna Lumley is in it this time around. She's not really given much of a...
No, I'd say she was just kind of up and coming at that stage, really, wasn't she? Yeah.
But like that scene in the woods where like there's a sniper and starts killing, and like two of the main characters get killed. I was genuinely surprised that they because normally in Dracula they don't kill the good people at all. Like. And these are like two of the main fellas. One of the main guys is like the head of MI5 or some guy in MI5.
How good are they though?
Yeah, what?
How good are they though? Really, the heart of it.
Yeah, but remember he just out of the blue at the start, but they're talking he's talking to someone going, we have to do this, and he takes out a razor and just starts shaving himself. Yeah, and it's like
he's just
in his office.
Yeah, but I love that though. It's just like it was a real fucking police squad kind of moment, though, wasn't it? It was just like so unfazed by like, oh yes, there's vampires and blah blah blah, and he was like, yes, totally unfazed by I must shave my face.
I'm not too sure kind of the year that Blackula came out, but I have a funny feeling this could have been influenced by Blackula as well, because there's this scene in it that is quite good where Joanna Lumley goes into, they're looking around this fucking house where all the satanic stuff is going on. Joanna Lumley breaks into the basement, and when she's down there she sees it was like the secretary from MI5 fucking tied to the wall, and she goes over to release her and she's a vampire. And then when she breaks away from her, all these other women vampires start coming out of like boxes and it's just like, oh, it's Dracula's collection of women. And it's actually quite creepy, like, because it is just, there's something otherworldly about the way it's shot, I think. It's probably for me. It's probably one of the best points, the most horror point out of all the movies, where you could kind of go, "This is actually fucking."
Yeah, this is like.
I could imagine in the 70s it would have been scary, but it reminds me of Blackula. Near the end, where like there was like all the people that were vampires were in the basement, I think. But yeah, I did quite like this. And how did he get killed in it at the end?
See, this is I can't remember. I can't distinguish which one ended up with which. You're going to have to.
This is he gets caught in the bush.
Oh God, yeah, we were just like, well, Jesus, he's just fucking literally walking into it now, isn't he? And he does as a hawthorn bush.
He's chasing after Van Helsing.
He literally just gets tangled up in a fucking bush.
Fucking Van Helsing is standing on the other side of the bush, and he's like, "Hey, Dracula, you prick!"
He's like,
and he like literally walks into the bush, and he gets caught into it, and then fucking Van Helsing just grabs a fence, and stabs him in the heart with it, and that's it.
And it's like Finn.
Yeah, and that's it. But
it's like he's a dementia patient. He's just like gets stuck in a bush and it's like, oh no.
This is just like you can walk around it. It's not a big bush. Why would you? And when he's in it at the start of it, like when he's an inch into it, he keeps walking into it.
He keeps walking through instead of just hang on. Exactly. Yeah. Just this is not good. Just walk around it. Such a sophisticated and a suave gentleman, he's just like.
I quite liked it because for the first time, it gave Dracula a plot. Other than kind of, I want women.
Bitey. Yes, bitey,
it was just where you see it's this like, and someone with power and resources. So he was like an Irish. It kind of nearly reminded me of Tomb of Dracula or something like that. But it was I quite like. I think they could have went in a good direction if they had to go in this direction probably earlier on with things, but people probably would have been, oh, this isn't the Gothic Dracula that I know and love with the Hammer horror movies. So I think this might be why it kind of didn't do well and why people probably still don't know, because it is such a jump.
Yeah.
But after looking at all the other fucking movies over the space of a couple of days,
nice change.
I think that's probably why I like these so much this time around, the 70s one, because I was so burned out watching the other ones. Like these movies, like some of them they're good, they're classics, but a lot of them they're not. They're really not. They were hard going. Like the two of us were struggling with it near the end. So yeah, that's number 3 is the Satanic Rites. So number 2 is actually the second one with Christopher Lee in it, but it's not the second in the series. The second in the series is that Brides of Dracula fucking one,
which we're not doing.
This is Dracula, Prince of Dark, and I suppose it's worth mentioning at this time as well. He was also in another one in 1970 where it was like a Spanish director, where it was like truer to like Bram Stoker's version of Dracula. I remember seeing the poster when I was younger and getting really confused because it was Christopher Lee with a moustache as Dracula.
So that was why they made him Spanish.
He's like, there you go. And go,
It's so horribly racist. Anyway,
you can't be racist towards Spanish people. They're not even people. But it's Dracula, God. Prince of Darkness. It's the second one, and it follows. It was nearly 10 years, I suppose, from the original one, and I think nearly 10 years continuity wise as well. This one, it's Dracula's dead and loving it.
I'm loving it.
Yeah, but it's like English couple. 2 English couples are on holidays up in the Carpathian Mountains. We're nearly there, Laura.
Yeah,
we're nearly there.
I'm starting to flag here now,
we're nearly there. And they want to stay in the village, and they're like, our people are like, don't go up the fucking mountains, don't go near Castle Dracula. And they're like, but it's part of our tour. So
yes, they're bloody English then, obviously. All right, yeah.
This monk,
we have a right of way. It's one of our nature's ramblings.
it's what did they call it? The right to ramble, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a right of way.
Yeah,
yes.
But this
like bridle path.
Groovy monk shows up. That's like, all these stupid bastards in this village and their superstitions. And he's kind of like the cool guy. And he's like, look, fucking blow off Castle Dracula and come and stay at the monastery with me. And
really
you can get drunk. And they're like, no. So they go up, and Clove is there waiting with meals for him.
Cool.
And they're like, oh, how does this happen? Oh, well, actually, they were going to sleep in some shithole at the end of Castle Dracula, like a shed, and a horse and cart show up, and they decide, oh, maybe we should sleep in the horse and cart.
Yeah, as you do. Like,
yeah, and then the horse and cart brings them up to Castle Dracula. That's how they get there. So when they're staying there, they're like, no suspicions about, or wait, there's brief suspicions about how is this place still around, and Clove is like, oh, the master said that I should always have it ready for guests. And they're like, oh, alright. So yeah, the usual, they have a meal. Clove fucking tricks one of them, he kills him in Dracula's blood, or into the fucking Dracula's coffin, and the blood brings Dracula back to life. Dracula goes around killing people. Then one of them escapes and gets the monk. He's like, oh, give us a hand, Dracula's back. So they go off, and this time around they shoot at Dracula's feet when he's standing on ice. He slips on the ice and falls into cold water and dies.
Yes, because Dracula can't survive running water. That's what it is.
Now, you might be wondering why we summed this one up really, really quickly and sound very kind of like it's bad, but this is one of the better ones. It is there's
not
atmospheric.
Much to take the piss out of, basically.
Yeah. It's very atmospheric. When Dracula shows up in it, Christopher Lee is really menacing in it. He doesn't say a word throughout the whole thing because he thought the script was dog shit and he refused to say the lines. Now, the guy who wrote it says, no, I just didn't write any lines for him because I didn't see why Dracula would be talking to people.
Yeah, it's not like he's sitting down asking about the weather.
Yeah, I think I'd believe Christopher Lee with it because we've seen the other ones. And Christopher Lee, he famously didn't really talk about Dracula too much. You can see when he's like, look, it was time in my life, I didn't want to do the movies. I didn't because I didn't want people to be losing jobs. Yeah. I felt under pressure to do them. You can understand. He wants, and as well, people, there's always this real weird thing around like his career where it was like people saying that like Dracula cast a shadow over his career. Christopher Lee was acting the whole time. He was in numerous films every year. Dracula didn't hurt his career in any shape or form. If hadn't made it
more well known
it just made him really well known. Like he was in loads of fucking things, and even like up until he died, like even like fucking Lord of the Rings and Star Wars, and he was in a load of smaller films and things and plays. He did the whole music, the metal album. So it's not like the man. It's I think people, but like I can understand because people in the 70s were shitting on saying, oh, he's just because of these films, and he was starring in a lot of films at the same time. For some reason, they just focused on the Dracula movies. But like this one, it is very good, and I think not having any lines in it definitely helps it. Yeah, because Dracula feels like a force of nature. Yeah. He feels more evil in this one. And it's just...
You just need to say that to fucking put the creeps
on. Yeah. It's shot really well. The vibe is great. The acting is really good in it, like even from the supporting actors. And it's just a good movie. It's a very basic movie. Sometimes it's like a cowboy movie. Sometimes you don't need to have a lot of things in it or twists and turns.
Less is more,
Less is more. And this, like, I think that's all that you can say about this one. Highly recommend this one for people to watch. I think it's maybe not like very important in like the history of film, but I think in the history of horror and definitely in vampire movies it's an important movie kind of because it was gory as well. More gory. It just kind of and probably kind of like led into kind of like a different era of like
it was
sequels.
Gory and not camp gory. And not cartoony gory.
It was more vicious than the first one. And then at number one, unsurprisingly, we have the original Dracula Hammer horror movie from 1958, which was directed by Terence Fisher, who directed a fair few of them as well. It's kind of loosely based, I suppose, on the novel. Where it's like
so high pitched.
But it's like Jonathan Harker is in it at the start, and he goes there as a librarian, but he's going undercover because he knows
it's Dracula.
Yeah, and he wants to kill him. Him and Van Helsing have been doing research, and they've discovered that Dracula exists, and they want to kill him. So then, after Harker gets killed, fucking Dracula finds out about, I think Lucy or Mean. I think it's Lucy in this. He decides that he's going to go off to England or wherever the next town over and kind of get, because he's like, oh, another woman to add to my collection.
I like women.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have Helsing then kind of dancing the line there, I suppose, is to like trying to pass on Harker's last words and trying to,
Yeah, and she's like infected with vampirism, so it kind of becomes a lot like the book or the vampire or the Dracula story that we know, or Van Helsing said, and they're trying to save her and like, yeah. And that's pretty much it.
It's more your traditional Dracula, really, I suppose, where it's like, sort of you're waiting to see you, kind of lure him into the garden and see what he's doing and, all of that kind of stuff.
And then when Dracula, like, fucking gets away with, like, Mina, with a thing, because he kills Lucy, turns her into a vampire. She's going around trying to kill kids, like in the book. They kill her down the thing, and then your man... Was it Arthur? Yeah, I think Arthur kind of like believes Van Helsing then, and they're like, right, look, we gotta go after, we have to save Mina, let's kill Dracula. So they chase him down to his castle, and then Van Helsing, it's a very famous scene, he fights with, it's a great scene actually, the last fight between Van Helsing and Dracula. It's not like in the book where it's like, oh, they get him in the coffin and they put a fucking stake through his heart. It's like they're nearly fencing around Castle Dracula, and then Van Helsing rips the curtains down and he makes the cross out of the candlesticks and shoots him. I think they might nearly show that in Fright Night, at the start of Fright Night or some part of Fright Night. Yeah.
But it is a kind of it's the whole sort of like turning to dust, like literally in the sunlight kind of thing, isn't it? And it's like, it's again special effects. They're done, incredible.
Yeah, a lot of the special effects as well are very similar to Flute or my God, I can't think of it. Fulci movie.
Fulci?
Yeah, Fulci. Fulci movie. Well, I suppose it's like 58 as well. They would have been very ahead of their time. There's a lot of blood. The whole thing was with this version of Dracula, it was getting away from the probably camp version of Dracula that was known then, that would have been in Abbott and Costello movies. Like, it went from like Bela Lugosi being like this count in the original kind of Universal ones then to being kind of almost like a joke, or where people weren't scared of him, and this brought the fear back. You turned Dracula into a figure of evil.
Yeah, bit of a sinister.
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
Christopher Lee was like, he's brilliant with him, and like in this he obviously talks more, but he turns into like a proper dickhead near the end. Remember, he has your woman Mina, when he gets up to the castle he has a hold he just throws it. Now he properly throws her into it, like
dumps her
it's
in,
not a dummy, it's just
it's just the actual actress, and he just like drops her in the grave from a fucking height, and it's like, it's not a gentle laying her down, he's just like, I'm done with you, fucking boof.
And like I suppose modern vampire films or modern horror films, they always have like the bad guy as there's like, there's some sympathetic kind of nature to it, where it's like, oh, you understand why he's doing what he's doing. And not in this. Dracula's just an asshole. There's no backstory how he became a vampire. He's just an evil man.
Yeah, an evil force.
He's a force of evil that just wants to be a dickhead to people, and he is.
Yes.
It's a great film. It's shot so well. It's a lovely film. I don't think looking at this when we started like last week prepared us for how bad some of the films were to get, and because it's a treat to look at. I think I'd definitely go back looking at this.
Yeah. Absolutely,
the other ones fucking no.
You dip in now to some of them, alright.
Yeah.
In fairness.
So I suppose wrapping it up overall, because we're after going on longer than we normally do.
Yeah.
Overall, like Christopher Lee, great career with it. He brought a lot, even to the bad films. Christopher Lee
brought a presence. Yeah. He brought a gravitas.
Yeah. I don't think those films would still be around today or remembered today if it was a different actor with it. Like Christopher Lee definitely.
Yeah. Elevated him.
Yeah. Like the worst one. See, the thing that makes some of the ones that bad, it's like Dracula's only in for like maybe 5 minutes out of like an hour and a half. They spend a lot, like with the one that was like the Dracula's risen from the grave. I think they spend nearly 40 minutes fucking around with these characters that you don't give a shit about.
Yeah, you're just like, where's Dracula?
Yeah, and then Dracula just shows, so a lot of it's more so to do with the other characters in Dracula, with the films that are bad.
Oh, it is.
That the focus is totally off. And it goes back to the whole
thing of like, they had these stories, they had these films that they wanted to shoot, and they wanted to shoehorn Dracula into it. and they would be totally forgettable and just written off if they didn't have Christopher Lee as Dracula.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, we have to have someone getting killed. We have to have some woman in peril and Dracula going, ugh. And that's pretty much what some of them are. And yeah, so look, we're tired.
That's been a long one.
Yeah,
To suck your blood, and it is time to retire to my coffin.
Yeah, so I think next week. Well, we're coming into Christmas season now.
Christmas
so,
films?
Yeah, no, maybe yes.
Sharp Left Turn into Home Alone.
Anything other than a Dracula movie.
Die Hard.
No, everyone talks about them. Talked about Die Hard, but look. Thank you for listening. If you managed to listen this through, and like I hope we mentioned or were kind about one of your favourite Dracula movies. Yes. And like if you disagree with us, let us know in the comments, because we're not perfect. And as well, our memory is destroyed looking at these things. You can only look at so many of them back to back before they fucking really do start blending into one.
Oh yeah.
And normally I'm quite good with movies, and I've seen some of these like numerous times throughout the years.
I've always been like that.
But
it's always been a thing. To me, it's just like one long series. I can't differentiate. So yeah.
But it's just difficult, basically, is all I'm saying. So look, thank you for listening once again, and until next week.
Blah.
Yes, this is blah.